Hi guys, I'm Tyler, and welcome to another episode of my Christian Music Week reviews. Each week I take 5 releases, albums, EPs, or singles, and after having listened to them all week, I come back here and I review them. I share what I think about them. So without further ado, let's get to this week's first release, Need to Breathe's new album, Out of Body. Need to Breathe's new album, Out of Body. Let's dive into it. So, stylistically speaking, here we have acoustic guitar, electric guitar, bass guitar. Acoustic definitely gives it a folk influence for sure. Then we have drum, we have bass, we have piano. Overall, what are my thoughts on the sound? It's okay for what it's worth. I particularly like more the pop rock moments, I would say, than the more folk influence moments. Which, like I said, it's okay for what it's worth, but not really something that I personally would listen to all the time. However, I gotta say something. Their lead singer's voice is pretty good. He has a pretty good voice here. And now let's dive into the lyrics. So, there's a couple different themes here. I would say there's an overall theme and there's a spiritual theme. So, let's talk about the overall theme first. What the artist is trying to get across to us here overall. Talks about embracing the freedom of being who you're made to be and enjoying the good things in life. As for, but also on a few of the songs, there is a spiritual point too. It talks about God loving us and our need for Him, our broken self needing Him, and Him loving us as undeserving as we are. Up next, Hillsong Young and Free's new album, All of My Best Friends. Hillsong Young and Free's new album, All of My Best Friends. Interestingly, so they include a live version of every song, and then they have studio versions of some of the songs here. I would say a lot of somewhere between studio and live, other than the setting, obviously. However, I would say Uncomplicated differs a little bit from live to studio. At least I felt like in the note that it was played in. We'll talk about the overall sound though. So there's bass, drum, keyboard. There's acoustic guitar, electric guitar, and bass guitar. Break it down here. And as for the lyrics here, really love the lyrics to this album. Really love the picture of God's love that it paints for us. That it's unconditional. We don't have to impress Him. He loves us just as we are. And also, there's some songs on here that talk about impacting the world with God's love. Up next, KB's new single, Little Boy. Before I get into the review of KB's new single, Little Boy, which is his latest single to come from his upcoming album, Glory Is Coming, let me just say that this came across as a request from a viewer on my channel named Reese B, who's also a Christian hip hop reviewer. Thanks for requesting. He's also a Christian hip hop reviewer here on YouTube, to be clear. Anyhow, thanks for requesting, and let's dive into the song. So, this is the third single from KB's upcoming album, Glory Is Coming, following Armies, which I reviewed here on this channel, and 10K, which I did not review, but is a good song as well. Anyhow, let's dive into the sound of this song. Good song. Kind of sounds like something that would have been on his last album, Today We Rebel. It has synth, bass, and piano here, and rapping. Really does feel a lot like a song off of Today We Rebel, more than the two songs he released thus far have. And as for the lyrics, he talks about he encourages boys to become men, and also to follow what God says instead of what the culture feeds. Up next, Disciples' new single, Kingdom Come. Disciples' new single, Kingdom Come, is the second bonus track to be released off of their upcoming deluxe edition for Love Letter Kill Shot. Following Darkness Dies, which I reviewed on this channel. And by the way, I did a review on the original edition of the album on this channel too. Which, by the way, if you go back and watch that, just know I like the album better now than I did back then. Just so you know that. And let's dive into this song. So this song is definitely a metal track for sure. So there's electric guitar and drum in the verses, and he sings screams in the verses, and then he just sings in general in the chorus. And then there's guitar solo in the bridge and the post-chorus. And as for the lyrics here, great lyrics here. So it asks the question of how do we get a hate-free world? God love is the answer. And how do we reflect that this world? By letting his kingdom come in our hearts and loving with his love. So really great lyrics here for sure. Up next, our last release for today, Brandon Lake's new album, House of Miracles. Brandon Lake's new album, House of Miracles. Let's talk about it. So sound-wise here, he has all sorts of stuff going on. He has electric guitar, bass guitar, acoustic guitar, piano, synthesizer, bass, drum, and there's even violin on a few of the songs here. And as for the lyrics here, talks about God doing miracles, bringing the dead back to life, including spiritually, and also in addition to literally, and also talks about as well, talks about praising God for how great his love is. Well, that's it for this week. Come back next week for 5 more releases. If you like what you saw in this video, please subscribe. Also, if you have any thoughts on this week's releases or what I said about them, let me know that in the comments below. Also, if there's anything you want me to review in next week's video, let me know that in the comments below too. Well, I'll go now. Bye. Have a great Labor Day weekend. Bye.